Hi y'all. I just made a video for y'all about my mouse, and I said it's Thursday, but really it's not. It is Friday. I get so confused. I need to get a big calendar to put on my wall. But talking about the mouse reminded me of another mouse that I had in my life. I must have been probably 7 or 8 years old, and we lived in this house in Texas. It was either Houston or Wichita Falls, I don't remember. My dad was stationed at an Air Force base out there, and so I used to stay up late. We had a living room, and it had a couch and a chair and probably a couple of tables or something. And then we had this television that was on this rolling stand. And we had, of course, rabbit ears with some tin foil wrapped on them. The good old days. But anyway, I used to stay up late and watch these shows called Thriller, Chiller. There was another one too. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I used to stay up late and watch those, and I loved those shows, even though they scared the crap out of me. But my dad would be lying on the couch, and he would fall asleep, but I would sit at the other end of the couch and have his feet in my lap while I was watching these scary shows. And we used to have a little mouse, and I know it was the same little mouse, and he would come out. It looked like he was coming out from underneath the television. And so when everything would get quiet, my mother, my little brother would go to bed, and my dad and I would be in the living room. And my dad always fell asleep. He just stayed up because he knew I was scared. But this little mouse would come out, and sometimes he would come out early, and he would play around in the living room. And we had hardwood floors. Now, I have to say, I used to take little tiny pieces of the crust of bread, and when my dad wasn't looking, I would throw some little pieces out on the floor. And this little mouse would run out, and he would grab a piece, and he'd run under the television stand. He was adorable. He was so cute. But between the scary shows and the little mouse, I was afraid to get up and go pee. And I would nearly pee my pants. I would hold on and hold on and hold on, and finally, if the show wasn't over, I would wake my dad up and I'd say, "Daddy, I have to go pee." And he would just mumble at me, and I would run into the bathroom and go pee and run back out and jump up on the couch. But that little mouse lived in our house somewhere, I guess in the walls, but he was there for a long time. And finally, one night we were getting up to go to bed, and my dad saw him sitting right in front of the television. And he got up really easy, and he eased into the kitchen, and he came back with our big old broom, and he was going to smash my mouse. Well, I had a heart attack. I mean, I had a fit all over my dad. It woke my mom up. Anyway, my dad left my little mouse friend alone. But you know what? He only came back once or twice after that and never saw him again. I don't know what happened to him. I hope my dad didn't kill my little mouse while I wasn't there. I wouldn't put it past him. But anyway, that's just another little mouse story. And those were good times in my life because my dad was very stoic and he did not show affection ever. But by staying up with me and sleeping on the couch so that I could watch my scary shows, that was a sweet thing that he did for me. I remember also that when my mother was working nights, he would fix my little brother and I each one of those old nasty pot pies, those chicken pot pies with no crust on the bottom. And we would sit at the table and sit at the table, and you know what that was like, y'all. You couldn't leave the table until your plate was clean. We'd be flicking peas at each other, and and then my dad would come in and we would sit there all straight in our chair acting like we hadn't done anything. Of course, he could see the peas on the floor, but it was ridiculous. I mean, a little kid, I was probably 7 or 8. What is that? Oh, my window wasn't closed. And my little brother was 2 years younger than me. We couldn't eat a whole pot pie. Now, why did the man not have sense enough to split a pot pie between us? I don't know. The other thing I remember living in that house was that I always had to do the dishes. I had to wash, and my little brother was supposed to rinse. So I stood on a chair, we both did, and I had one of my mother's aprons tied up underneath my armpits, and my dad would come in and check the dishes. And if there was one little speck of food that I missed, he put them all back in the dishpan. And we had to do them over again. Things were kind of crazy back in the day. I mean, parents were, I don't know, they were kind of weird sometimes. But anyway, y'all, that's it for this video. I hope you do something fun today. I was at Home Depot looking at countertops. And you know what? Home Depot is really a contractor store. They just don't have the nicer things for homes like Lowe's does. Although I have to say, I did see a beautiful drop down light fixture for over the dining room table. It's so pretty. But anyway, y'all, that's it. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.